Hello, and welcome. I am Walt, and today our guest comes from Heaven's Gifts, and it's made by OBS. It is the OBS Cube. This is the top of the box that it comes in. And this is the back of the box that it comes in, which is actually a sleeve, but you can at least see that. Inside, we have a user's manual. Multiple pages, multiple languages. Each language has 3 pages, and it is that simple of a mod. Here we have a baggie with some extra O-rings. Here we have an extra coil. This particular coil, I probably should unwrap it if I can. This is a triple coil with standard wire. You can see on the sides places for the juice to come in, and you can see on the bottom the contact point. USB charging and upgrade cable. Maybe not upgrade, I don't know. I gotta look and get back to you on that. But it is a USB cable, definitely for charging. We have a spare glass with the atomizer. And then we get to the cube atomizer. On the top of the cube atomizer, we have, as usual, a drip tip. That's an 810 goon style drip tip. The O-rings are in the receptacle, not on the drip tip itself. The fill top is a half twist. You press down and give it a half twist and it comes off. Nice big fill holes on the side. Nice big sealer ring on the top. I'll leave that off for now. Taking a look at the bottom. We have our airflow, one on each side. It does have stoppers. It does have nice restriction. On the bottom there's our 510 connector. Pretty standard stuff. Unscrew the base, and there we have the inner connector on the base, and this time the coil stayed inside the top when I screwed that off. Half and half, goes either way. There's the bottom connector. There's the glass, obviously removable. That one's tinted. And here we can remove our coil. And this one is a mesh. Top of the addy, you can see an O-ring around here sealing the glass and an O-ring here sealing the chimney. So, putting it back together, pop that glass on there. Screw the coil into the base. Obviously I've been using this coil, but if it were a new one, you would want to put some e-juice around the outside as usual to prime it a little bit until you start seeing it show up on the edges. Take that assembly, line it up, screw it on. From here you could fill your addy. Take the top, line it up, push down just a little bit, and not wanting to line up right at the moment. There we go. Get it lined up, give it a half twist. Have to push down a little bit to do that. And we're all assembled and we're ready to go. And now the OBS Cube mod itself. On the very front of it, we've got a fire button, 2 adjustment buttons. There's your USB connector. Buttons are very nice and clicky, very responsive. You can definitely feel them as you're pushing them up and down. It is a cube. It's all 4 sides. It's a cube. It got a little bezel around here, okay, for an adornment. All the edges are beveled and curved. The top and bottom, all the edges are curved as well. On the back, cube, and a real nice little design. On this side, it's kind of a brushed metal, again with this sparkly little bezel around it. And here on this side, wow, that's really got a lot of fingerprints on it, is the screen. And I'll turn down the light here in just a second and show you the screen. On the top we have a 510 connector that is bolted in. It's a coated 510 connector. It is spring loaded. On the bottom we have a vent hole and a little bit of verbiage there. So let me take a break, turn down the light, and we'll see if we can't do something with the menu system. Okay, this is going to go real quick and it's real simple. On the top you can see that it says power. Why it says power I don't know, because that's all this will do, variable power. You've got a battery indicator. It has 5 little bars on it. It's down to 1 bar. I've been using it. Here it says that it's at 53 watts. You see a little lock up there. That means that you can't adjust this thing. The W on after the 53.0 is the watts. You've got the ohms of the atomizer. You've got the voltage that's applied to the addy. That is real time. And as soon as you let go of the fire button, okay, that'll go back to 0. So if you want to see what voltage is applied, you have to kind of hold it away from you and fire it looking at it. You have a puff counter, and you have the seconds of the last puff. Both of those will continue to show, the lock and show. The puff counter, if you turn a device off, will reset. Okay. On the side, the power button, 5 clicks turns it off. There we go, says goodbye even. 5 clicks turns it on. There is no way to lock the device from firing, so if you want to keep the device from firing, you just need to turn it off. On the side, either of the adjustment buttons, click them 3 times, and there our little lock goes away. Now, from here we can adjust it 1 watt increments, goes all the way up to 80 watts, goes all the way down to 5 watts. Speeds up a little bit. I kind of like the speed of this. It's not so darn fast that it goes past where I'm trying to, not far past anywhere where I'm trying to go. Yeah, at any rate, I like it. So, as soon as you press the fire button, that lock comes back and you can no longer adjust the wattage. And that, folks, is it. That's what this mod does. So, we'll take a look at some graphs next. So I entered this contest on a forum, and Heaven's Gifts is giving away. Okay, a while later I get a private message, I've won. Wow, okay, that's cool. I wondered what I won, so I went to the OBS website and started snooping around, and I found these specifications. OBS, seriously, you have got to get your engineers and your marketing people talking. This is bizarre. Okay, at any rate, at the very bottom, resistance range, TC/wattage mode. No. I'm sorry there, guys. TC only, or sorry, wattage only, okay? Really, that's all this mod does. And then looking up one line, we've got the output voltage. I saw this and I thought, oh boy. It says that the output voltage is 3.2 to 4.2 volts. I think what they're trying to say is this is the usable battery range for voltage. If in effect it was limited to 4.2 volts, I know that in moderate ranges of resistance, this thing is just going to underperform. It's not going to be good at all. It's especially if there are bulky coils in there, whatever, it might do fairly decent at very high and very low resistances, and you'd have to really build this thing as if you were building for a single battery mech to get any performance out of it. So I thought, oh boy, this is something else. Well, we're going to see that's not the case, but really OBS on this one, you really shot yourself in the foot with that little publication. Okay, so first test up. We got it maxed out at 80 watts. The true resistance as measured on a milliohm meter, 0.18 ohms, and the mod is reading that at 0.14 ohms. It is delivering 3.16 to the coil volts, and the watts delivered are 71 watts. Rise time at 2 milliseconds, and a pretty nice flat DC signal. Obviously a very fast rise time. Now, this particular test was a little bit of a disappointment. This is within the range of most single battery mods, 70 to 80 watts, the 71 watts that it put out. But this is also right there at the resistance range where we're shipping coils for this thing. And 9 watts makes a difference. So that's a little underpowered and just a little bit of a disappointment. Although I will say this, with the mesh coils, they don't have a tendency to require as much wattage as some traditional coils do as far as firing the things up. Second test up, 80 watts, 0.27 ohms. Mod reads it at 0.26 ohms. We're delivering 4.56 volts. You can see already where it's more than what the website claimed. And the wattage delivered is 80 watts, bang on. Nice flat DC signal, very fast rise time. Bravo. Lowering the wattage just a little bit down to 60 watts. Using the same resistance we did last time, we have 4 volts at the Addy, and we've got 61 watts again. Real close, real fast rise time. Real nice flat DC signal. Again, bravo. Back up to max wattage, and this time a true resistance of 0.53 ohms. Mod's reading that as a 0.51 ohm. Close enough for who it's for. The voltage applied is 6.72 volts. Note, it is definitely boosting. Absolutely. Now, the wattage delivered, and this is why I put on the front of this video fast and furious, the 88 watts. Yeah, it's pounding that resistance. And we got a rise time of 2 milliseconds, a little bit more noise on there, but still a very reasonable DC signal. Backing off the power a little bit to 60 watts, same resistance as last time, 0.72 volts, and we're getting 64 watts. A little bit hot here. It's going to do that at that resistance range. You got a 2 millisecond rise time and a very similar DC signal to the last one that we saw. Last but not least, 20 watts on a 1.03 ohm resistance. Mod read that as 0.95 ohms, the most off that it's been so far. Voltage applied was 4.8 volts, and the wattage delivered was 24 watts. A little bit hot here. Not terrible, but a little bit hot. Rise time 2 milliseconds, and a very decent signal. Okay, so we are down to the talk about it. Now, I'm going to start right off by saying I like the mod. So, I'd love to say this is a perfectly fair and unbiased review of this kit, and I won't be influenced. No, I'm influenced. I like it. So, obviously keep that in mind. I just hope that I'm still giving you enough information that you can form your own opinion on this. So, here we have it. The OBS Cube kit. I'm going to start with the tank. The drip tip feels fine to me. Obviously, you can put whatever drip tip you want on there. It's an 810 Goon style. The fill is a half turn, pops off. Nice big openings in there to fill it up. Works for me. Seals up real nice. No leaks with this thing. Everything looking good in that regard. The coils in here, especially the mesh coil, that puts out some damn nice flavor. Hands down, it really does put out some nice flavor. Like most mesh coils, it's a fairly low resistance. That's, a function of battery life. The airflow on it, like most mesh coils, it's kind of loud and it's a bit turbulent. If you turn it down just a little bit, you can mitigate that and make it a little bit better, but it is a little bit loud and turbulent. But the amount of vapor that it puts out, as well as the amount of flavor, it's just sweet. I got no complaints on that. As far as the top of the mod itself, the platter itself is going to accommodate up to 25, and then there's a round area encircling that will accommodate up to about a 28 and not look hideous. There'll be a little bit of a gap there, but it won't look hideous. So you got a good range of addies that you can use on here, and still look good. The buttons, the whole design, it is just nice in the hand. Again, we've got another mod that just feels nice in the hand. It's small. Obviously it's not a pod. It's not some of these super minis, but it's small. And I think if taken for what it is, and that is a single battery, internal battery, variable wattage only mod, I think it's a winner. I really do. Nice big fire button, easy to find. Nice clicky buttons. I really like the fact that you have to press one of these buttons 3 times to be able to adjust it, and then as soon as you hit that fire button again, okay, it locks the adjustability. So there's no bumping things and making mistakes in that regard. Turning the thing off, okay, and not having a way to make it not fire. The only impact I can see with that is when you turn it off, you reset your puff counter. So if that's a problem, then that's a problem. There's not much more to say about that. Obviously, it's not an extremely accurate mod. Okay, it hits hot in some places and a little bit cold in other places. But again, for a single battery mod, okay, it's gonna put out a very decent vape across a real good variety and or range of resistances. The screen is real easy for me to see. I have no difficulties with that. Man, what can I say? The USB port, from what I can tell, that is charge only. I don't see where they've made facility for upgrade. And maybe that is just not going to be necessary. In as much as it's only a variable wattage variable wattage mod, okay, and it functions rather decent as is, that may be just fine. There may be no real reason to ever have to do an upgrade on this particular device. So with that, let me peek over here, just make sure that some of the notes I took. I want to hit all the high spots on this. It's not tippy, okay? You set it down and it isn't top heavy. It sets real nice. Obviously it can be knocked over, but it sets nice. Yeah, I get about 90 puffs on a full tank, okay, to give you an idea of that 4 mil capacity and how long that lasts, and that's using the mesh coil. I get about 200 puffs on the mod itself, which is saying that it's got to be close to that 3,000 milliamp hour that they're claiming. It puts out a lot of a lot of vapes. Now, what I will say is that at where it's really putting out a lot of wattage, okay, like if you have a real high wattage at a moderate resistance, okay, once you get down to 1 battery bar, it's going to start fading on you. Okay, I did notice that. And I tested it, and it come down to about half of the full 80 watts. Okay, in that particular circumstance. So, with some builds, okay, you'll notice fading toward the very, very end of the battery life. Oh, you can vape while charged on this. The charge time is between 2 and 3 hours. It does take a little while to charge. It's 1.5 amp charging on this little guy. The charger that I used, it took a full 3 hours, but I've only got a 1 amp charger, so that's that. And it comes in black, chrome, and gunmetal. And those are all the notes that I have on it. So with that, hope you gained something out of this, or maybe just enjoyed watching it, or if you didn't, then there's that too, however that works out. So thanks again. Appreciate you watching it. Thanks Heaven's Gifts for having the contest, and I'm just real happy to be a winner. I'm enjoying this, and thank you OBS for the design and what you made here. Real nice solid mod in the hand. I like picking it up. That's usually the biggest criteria for a mod to me. If I get up in the morning, I look on the shelf, and I decide what I want to pick up for the day, and this has been winning, okay, along with others every single day so far, and I don't know, we'll see how long that goes, but there's some newness to it obviously, but yeah, I'm digging it. So talk to you later.